Nathan Cole heard the scratching above his ceiling 3 nights before the heatwave hit Melbourne. At first, he thought it was possums. Then he found insulation scattered across his hallway floor like someone had been crawling through the roof space while he slept. By the 4th night, he stopped sleeping altogether. The rental in Coburg was already falling apart when he moved in. Cracked plaster, rusted taps, a wheezing air conditioner mounted above the lounge room window that coughed warm air instead of cold. But Nathan had been desperate after the divorce. Cheap rent close to the city was enough. By midday Friday, the temperature pushed past 38 degrees. The house felt sealed shut with boiling air. Nathan sat on the edge of the couch, drenched in sweat, while emails from debt collectors stacked up unread on his phone. Then the aircon died completely. He rang the number his property manager sent through. A local tradie named Liam Mercer answered with the tired voice of someone already buried in summer callouts. "Can be there. Around 6, mate." "That work?" Nathan glanced toward the ceiling again. "Yeah," he muttered. "That's fine." The scratching started again around 5:30. Not random movement, not animals, footsteps slow, careful. Directly above his bedroom, Nathan froze in the hallway, listening as tiny flakes of dust drifted from the manhole in the ceiling. Every instinct told him to leave the house, but embarrassment kept him there. He was 36 years old, recently divorced, drowning in gambling debt, and now convincing himself someone lived in his roof. The white van rolled into the driveway just after sunset. Liam stepped out wearing navy work shorts and steel caps coated in plaster dust. Mid-40s maybe, sunburned neck, calm eyes, the kind of bloke Australians trusted instantly. Nathan explained the dead aircon while Liam unpacked his ladder. "You live alone?" Liam asked casually. Nathan hesitated. "Yeah." Liam looked at the ceiling for longer than necessary. Then he climbed up to inspect the ducting. For 15 minutes, all Nathan heard was muffled movement above him. Thuds, scraping, silence, then heavier footsteps moving rapidly toward the back of the house. "Nathan?" Liam's voice echoed down suddenly. Something in his tone made Nathan's stomach tighten. "Yeah?" Another long silence. Then Liam climbed down slowly, his expression completely different now. Pale. Distracted. "The unit's cooked," he said quickly. "Needs replacing." Nathan frowned. "That's it?" "Yeah." But Liam avoided eye contact while packing his tools. "You all right?" Nathan asked. Liam forced a nod. "Just a long day, mate." He left within minutes. The entire interaction felt wrong. At 7:14 p.m., Nathan's phone buzzed, unreal number. He opened the message. "Mate, don't go into the roof space." Nathan stared at the screen. Another message arrived immediately after. "I'm serious. Leave the house tonight." Nathan called the number instantly. No answer. A third message appeared. "There's a hidden door up there." Nathan felt every muscle in his body lock. "What hidden door?" 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally. "Someone's been living inside your walls." Nathan backed away from the hallway, sealing instinctively, heart hammering so hard it hurt. He typed with shaking fingers. "What the hell are you talking about?" No reply. He rang again, straight to voicemail. Outside, the street sat quiet beneath orange sunset light. Kids rode bikes past the neighbor's fence. Somewhere nearby, someone laughed over a barbecue. Everything looked painfully normal. Nathan grabbed a kitchen chair and dragged it beneath the manhole. His hands trembled, climbing onto it. The ceiling hatch opened with a dry crack. Hot air spilled downward, carrying a smell that made his stomach turn instantly. Baby odor, rotting food, human breath. Nathan lifted himself slowly into the darkness. The beam from his phone torch swept across timber beams and pink insulation, then stopped. Someone had built an actual walkway through the roof cavity using plywood sheets. Nathan's pulse exploded. Empty water bottles lined the beams beside food wrappers and cigarette butts. Blankets, old newspapers, a campsite, no, a hiding place. Then his torch landed on the small wooden door. nailed into the far wall of the roof cavity. Nathan stopped breathing. The door shouldn't have existed. There was no room beyond that side of the house. Nothing but empty air above the neighbor's garage. From the other side of the door came a soft sound, movement. Nathan slowly stepped backwards. The sound stopped too. Silence swallowed the roof space completely. Then a man's voice whispered through the darkness. "You shouldn't be up here." Nathan nearly fell through the ceiling, trying to get down. His shin smashed the ladder. The chair beneath it scraped violently across the timber floorboards. He hit the hallway hard enough to rattle his teeth, then scrambled backwards on his hands like an animal escaping a fire. Above him, silence. Absolute silence. Nathan stared at the manhole, chest heaving. Every instinct screamed at him to run outside barefoot and never come back. But another thought buried itself deeper. If someone had been living up there, how long had they been watching him? His bedroom suddenly felt contaminated. Every shower, every phone call, every drunken night asleep on the couch after losing money online. Someone could have been listening the entire time. Nathan grabbed his car keys from the bench, then froze. The keys weren't where he left them. He looked around the kitchen in confusion before spotting them neatly placed beside the sink. He hadn't put them there. A cold pressure settled behind his eyes. His phone buzzed again. "Liam? Did you go up there?" Nathan typed instantly. "There's someone inside my roof." The reply came almost immediately. "Get out now." "Don't confront him." Nathan stared toward the ceiling hatch again. "Too late," he whispered. Another message appeared. "Listen carefully. When I was up there, I found cameras." Nathan's throat tightened, small ones, hidden near the vents. Nathan felt physically sick. "Jesus Christ." Liam continued typing. "I think he's been recording you." Nathan walked backwards into the lounge room, unable to look away from the hallway ceiling. "Who is he?" Nathan sent no response. Then finally, "I don't know, but I've seen something like this once before in Geelong." Bloke lived inside a pensioner's ceiling for nearly a year before anyone noticed. Nathan suddenly remembered things he'd ignored: missing food, doors left unlocked, the shower occasionally wet before he used it. He told himself it was stress, exhaustion, the collapse of his marriage messing with his head. Now every memory felt infected. A loud creak echoed above him. Nathan looked up instantly. Slow footsteps crossed directly overhead, not hiding anymore, watching him move room to room. Nathan grabbed the largest knife from the kitchen block without thinking. Another text from Liam arrived. "I'm coming back, no." Nathan typed fast, "Call the cops." "Already did." Then another creak sounded above the lounge room ceiling. Closer this time. Nathan backed toward the front door, gripping the knife so tightly his hand cramped. Then came the sound that shattered whatever calm he had left. A soft chuckle directly above him. Nathan bolted outside into the hot night air. He stumbled down the driveway gasping, while neighbors sat on verandas completely unaware that someone was living meters above his head. Across the street, an elderly woman watering plants looked over casually. "You all right, love?" Nathan opened his mouth to answer, then stopped. Inside the front window of his house, the lounge room curtain moved slightly. Someone was standing behind it, watching him. Nathan's entire body went numb. The silhouette vanished instantly. His phone rang. "Liam." "Mate, where are you?" Liam asked the second Nathan answered. "Outside." "Good. Stay there. There's someone in the house." "I know." Nathan frowned. "What do you mean you know?" Silence. Traffic hummed faintly through the phone. Then Liam spoke carefully. "When I went through that roof cavity, I found photos." Nathan's stomach dropped. "What kind of photos?" "You." Nathan stopped breathing. "There were dozens of them, mate." The world around him suddenly felt distant. Liam continued quietly. "Some through your windows, some inside the house." Nathan gripped the phone harder. How the hell would someone get photos inside my house? Liam didn't answer immediately. And that silence terrified Nathan more than anything else. Finally, Liam exhaled. Because I don't think he's just been living in the roof. Nathan turned slowly toward the house again. Every curtain was still. Every light remained off. But now he noticed something he'd somehow missed before. The bedroom window was slightly open. He never left it open. "Nathan," Liam said sharply, "listen to me carefully. Don't go back inside until police arrive." But Nathan barely heard him anymore, because standing behind the upstairs neighbor's frosted bathroom window was a figure. Tall, completely still, watching him from next door. Then the bathroom light clicked off. Nathan's phone crackled with Liam shouting his name. But before Nathan could answer, a text notification appeared on his screen from an unknown number. "I told you not to go into the roof space." Another message arrived immediately after. "Now he knows you saw the door." Nathan's hands shook so badly he almost dropped the phone. He stared at the messages while sweat rolled down his spine, despite the night air cooling around him. Across the street, the old woman had already gone back inside. The neighborhood looked dead quiet now. Porch lights, barking dogs in the distance, a tram grinding somewhere towards Sydney Road, normal life continuing while his entire reality cracked open. "Nathan," Liam barked through the phone. "Talk to me. There's someone next door," Nathan whispered. "What?" In the bathroom window. "He was watching me." Liam went silent again. That silence was becoming its own kind of answer. "You know something," Nathan said. "Tell me the truth." A car passed between them before Liam finally spoke. "When I was leaving your place earlier, I saw a bloke standing near the side gate. Thin guy, late 40s maybe, balding, just staring at my van." Nathan felt sick instantly. "That's him? I don't know." But when I asked if he lived there, he walked off without saying a word. Nathan turned slowly toward the narrow gap between his rental and the neighboring townhouse. Darkness filled the passage. "You should never have gone into that roof," Liam muttered. Before Nathan could respond, movement flickered beside the house, a shadow crossing the side gate. Nathan froze. The gate creaked softly. Someone was inside the backyard. "Nathan?" Liam's voice sharpened. "What's happening?" Nathan couldn't answer. Slow footsteps moved through the side passage toward the front of the house, calm, unhurried, like whoever it was already belonged there. Then a man stepped into the driveway light, thin build, gray hoodie despite the heat, hollow eyes. Nathan recognized him instantly, his neighbor. Not from next door, from 3 houses down. Nathan had seen him dozens of times collecting mail or dragging bins onto the curb. Quiet bloke. Kept to himself. The man stopped walking when he saw Nathan holding the knife. Neither spoke. Then the stranger smiled slightly. Not nervous, not threatening, almost disappointed. "You shouldn't have looked," he said calmly. Nathan backed away. "What do you want?" The man ignored the question. "You made a lot of noise up there." Liam shouted through the phone speaker. "Nathan, get away from him now." The stranger heard it. His eyes shifted to the phone, then back to Nathan. "He brought someone into the house," the man said quietly. "That complicated things." Nathan's pulse thundered in his ears. "What things?" The stranger tilted his head slightly, studying him. "You really don't remember me?" Nathan stared blankly. The man smiled again. "That's all right," he said softly. "Most people don't." Police sirens sounded faintly somewhere in the distance. The stranger heard them too, and for the first time, his expression changed. Not fear, urgency. "You need to leave before they get here," he said. Nathan almost laughed from disbelief. "You're insane." "No." The man stepped closer. "You are." Nathan's grip tightened on the knife. The stranger lowered his voice. "You think this started in the roof?" Sirens grew louder now. Closer. The man glanced toward the street, then back at Nathan. "She told you I disappeared, didn't she?" Nathan felt his stomach drop instantly. "She? Your wife." The world tilted sideways. The stranger reached slowly into his hoodie pocket. Nathan raised the knife instantly, but the man only pulled out an old photograph, then tossed it onto the driveway. Nathan stared down at it. His blood turned cold. The photo showed him standing outside Crown Casino nearly 2 years earlier. Beside him stood the same man, both smiling, arms around each other like friends. No, closer than friends. Nathan looked up in horror. "I don't know you." The stranger's face hardened slightly. "You did once." Police sirens screamed around the corner now. Blue lights flashed across nearby windows. The man stepped backwards toward the darkness beside the house. "Nathan," he said quietly, "if they search that roof, they'll find her." Nathan stopped breathing. "What?" The stranger looked toward the ceiling above them, then directly back into Nathan's eyes. "You buried her too shallow." The police cars turned into the street, and the stranger vanished into the darkness beside the house, just as Nathan heard a violent crash explode from somewhere inside his home above him. The crash inside the house jolted every officer toward the front door at once. Nathan stood frozen in the driveway, while 2 police rushed past him with torches drawn. Another officer grabbed his arm, forcing him back toward the curb. "What's inside?" she demanded. Nathan could barely speak. "There's someone in the roof." The officer exchanged a quick look with her partner. Then another crash thundered from upstairs. Heavy, violent, like furniture being dragged across the ceiling beams. The officers moved fast into the house. Nathan remained outside, shaking uncontrollably, while neighbors emerged onto footpaths in dressing gowns and thongs, staring toward the flashing lights, flooding the street blue and red. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Nathan answered instantly. "What did you mean?" he snapped. "Who's buried up there?" The line breathed softly for a second. Then the stranger spoke. "You really can't remember what you did to her." Nathan's chest tightened. "I never killed anyone." "You did worse than kill her," the line crackled. "She trusted you." Nathan leaned against the police car, trying not to collapse. "You're lying." "No," the man replied calmly. "Claire lied." Nathan felt physically winded, hearing his ex-wife's name. The stranger continued. "She told you I was unstable, obsessed, dangerous. You are dangerous." A soft laugh answered him. "Mate, I spent 8 months inside your roof, listening to you cry yourself to sleep every night. You're not the monster here." Nathan's mind spun violently. "Who are you?" Silence. Then finally, "Ethan." The name hit Nathan like a hammer. Not because he recognized the face, because he recognized the voice. Fragments suddenly surfaced in broken flashes. Late nights at pubs. A beach house near Torquay. A man laughing beside him on a balcony while rain hammered the ocean below. Nathan staggered backwards. "No. You remember now." Police suddenly shouted inside the house. "Clear downstairs." Heavy footsteps pounded overhead. Nathan looked toward the roof instinctively. Then his phone whispered again. "She kept us apart for a reason." Nathan squeezed his eyes shut. Memory clawed upward through years of alcohol, gambling binges, panic attacks, and missing pieces he never understood. Ethan, not a stranger, his best mate once, maybe more than that. The memories felt blurred intentionally, like someone had scrubbed parts clean. "What happened to me?" Nathan whispered. Ethan exhaled slowly through the phone. "Ask Claire." Nathan stared at the dark sky above the street. "She's gone." "No," Ethan replied. "She disappeared." Before Nathan could answer, 2 officers emerged from the house leading Liam outside. The tradie looked pale as death. "What happened?" Nathan yelled. Liam looked at him strangely. "They found blood." Nathan's stomach dropped. "Where?" "In the roof cavity." The phone line went silent instantly. Nathan pulled the mobile away from his ear. Call ended. He rang back immediately. Disconnected. One of the officers approached Nathan carefully now. "We need you to come inside." Nathan followed them numbly through the front door. The house already looked different. Violated. Officers moved room to room while torchlight swept across walls and ceilings. Then Nathan saw it. The hidden door inside the roof cavity now hung open. Cold air drifted from the darkness beyond it. One officer climbed down from the manhole, face tense. "There's another space back there," he said. "Runs between both properties." Nathan stared upward. The neighboring townhouse, the hidden corridor connected them. The officer hesitated before continuing. "We also found personal belongings." "What kind?" Nathan asked quietly. The officer looked directly at him. "A woman's handbag." Nathan's knees nearly gave out. Another officer approached, carrying a clear evidence bag. Inside it sat a faded silver necklace. Nathan recognized it instantly. Claire's, the same necklace she wore the night she vanished 11 months earlier. The officer studied Nathan carefully. "You told investigators your wife left after an argument." Nathan couldn't breathe, because suddenly another memory crashed into him. Claire crying in the kitchen. Claire screaming at someone upstairs. A male voice shouting back. Then blood, so much blood. Nathan stumbled backwards in horror. "I didn't." But even he no longer sounded convinced. Then one final detail surfaced from the deepest part of his memory. The last thing Claire said before she disappeared. "He's still alive, Nathan." And suddenly, Nathan realized something far worse than murder had happened inside that house. Someone had been hiding there long before he moved in. And Claire had known. Nathan sat in the interrogation room until sunrise, while detectives tore apart everything he thought he remembered. The hidden corridor between the two roofs stretched across 3 connected properties built in the 70s. According to council records, the passage shouldn't have existed. Someone had constructed it years earlier using old maintenance access between the terraces, and someone had been using it for a very long time. Detectives questioned Nathan for hours about Claire's disappearance, about Ethan, about the blood in the roof. But the deeper they dug, the stranger the story became. The blood wasn't Claire's. It was Ethan's. Nathan stared blankly across the metal table when they told him. "That's impossible," he whispered. Detective Alvarez slid a photograph across to him. Fresh blood soaked into insulation beside the hidden doorway. "He was injured recently," she said. "Likely within the last 48 hours. Nathan rubbed both hands over his face. Nothing made sense anymore. "You said Claire knew him?" Alvarez asked. Nathan nodded slowly. "I think, before me." The detective leaned back carefully. "We found medical documents inside the hidden space." She paused. "Nathan." Ethan Walsh was admitted to a psychiatric facility in Bendigo 3 years ago after a violent assault. Nathan looked up sharply. "On who?" "Your wife." The room went silent. Alvarez opened another file. Claire reported Ethan became obsessive after they separated. She claimed he broke into homes trying to watch her. Nathan's stomach twisted. "That's why she moved," he realized. "She met you 6 months later." Nathan remembered how fast everything happened after that. Claire pushing for them to move in together. Claire insisting they rent cheaply while saving money. Claire handling every conversation with the property manager herself. The same property. This house. Alvarez watched him carefully. "We believe Ethan discovered where she lived and built the access route between the roofs over time." Nathan shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "She lied." The detective's expression darkened slightly. Trauma victims often stay connected to abusive people longer than outsiders understand. But Nathan barely heard her anymore, because another memory had surfaced. Not violence, not blood. Claire standing in the hallway beneath the manhole, whispering angrily upward, while Nathan pretended to sleep in the bedroom. "You need to leave us alone." Then Ethan's voice answering softly from above. "You told him I was dead." Nathan looked up suddenly. She knew he was there. Alvarez didn't respond immediately. "We think she may have been communicating with him secretly." Nathan's pulse quickened. Why would she do that? The detective slid one final item across the table, a burner phone recovered from the roof cavity. hundreds of messages, mostly between Claire and Ethan. Nathan read the first one with trembling hands. He still doesn't remember that night. Another message. If Nathan finds out what happened in Torquay, both of us are ruined. Nathan's chest tightened painfully. Torquay, the beach house, rain smashing against windows, alcohol, screaming. Then the final memory broke open completely. Nathan saw Ethan bleeding on the kitchen floor beside shattered glass. Saw Claire crying hysterically. Saw himself dragging Ethan's unconscious body into the storm outside believing he was dead. But he wasn't dead. Nathan had left him there, and Claire helped cover it up. The detectives believed Ethan survived and spent years obsessed with Claire afterward, watching, hiding, waiting, slowly losing his mind inside walls and ceilings, while Nathan's own fractured memory buried the truth. But one question still remained. What happened to Claire? Nathan asked quietly. No one answered, because they still hadn't found her. 3 days later, demolition crews opened the final section of the hidden corridor between the properties. They discovered a sealed room behind the far wall above Nathan's bedroom. Inside sat old blankets, memory food tins, hundreds of photographs of Nathan sleeping, and Claire's body. The coroner estimated she'd been dead for almost a year. Detectives believed Ethan finally killed her after months hiding above the house. But Ethan Walsh was never found. No fingerprints, no sightings, nothing. Nathan moved out of Melbourne 6 months later. People online still debate the case. Some believe Ethan escaped interstate. Others think Nathan killed them both and buried the memories beneath years of addiction and guilt. Nathan himself stopped trying to decide, because sometimes late at night, no matter where he lives, he still wakes to soft footsteps moving slowly across the ceiling above him. And every single time, just before the sound stops, he hears the same whisper drifting through the dark. You should left the roof space alone.